Hey everyone and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the world of South African social media. More specifically, we're taking a look at what 2025 has in store. For those of you looking to stay ahead of the game, especially businesses and influencers, you definitely want to pay attention.
You're in the right place because we're looking at your notes and this fascinating article I came across. It's from Let's Make Progress. And get this, it was published just last year.
Talk about a blast from the future, right? And what I find super interesting is its laser focus on South Africa. I think by the end of this deep dive, you'll have a much clearer idea of which platforms deserve your attention and, more importantly, why. Plus, we'll unpack some of those pro tips sprinkled throughout this article, just to give you that extra edge.
Consider it your cheat sheet for navigating the South African social media scene in 2025.
I love that. All right, let's kick things off with a platform that needs no introduction, especially in the realm of short-form video. TikTok. This app has been blowing up globally, and South Africa is definitely not exempt from its charm.
It's remarkable how TikTok has managed to capture that unique South African blend of creativity, rawness, that authenticity. The article highlights this beautifully. It's not just about, those viral dance challenges. It's about real stories from real people, often with a distinctly local flavor.
And let's not forget about the role of AI. Those AI-powered video creation tools and AR effects, they definitely add another layer to it all, don't they? Speaking of which, be honest, how many of you have lost track of time playing with those TikTok filters? Okay, maybe it's just me, but I've definitely rocked a hilarious beard or two thanks to them.
Oh, you're definitely not alone. It's easy to dismiss those features as just fun and games, but they tap into that sense of playfulness and experimentation that's so core to TikTok.
And for businesses, especially in a dynamic and diverse market like South Africa, that's a goldmine, isn't it?
Absolutely. The article dives deep into the incredible potential for virality on this platform. Unlike some platforms where you need a massive following to even get noticed, even the smallest brands can experience explosive growth with the right content.
It's refreshing, isn't it? Like the article mentioned, the algorithm seems to favor authenticity over polished perfection.
I couldn't agree more. And that emphasis on authenticity, it's huge for influencer marketing in South Africa.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. What makes influencer marketing in South Africa different?
It's all about local, local, local. Partnering with South African TikTokers who genuinely resonate with their audience is key. Think micro-influencers with a dedicated following in a specific niche. Their recommendations, they carry so much weight.
So it's about tapping into those hyper-local trends. Like the article mentioned, hopping on a South African challenge or using a local song. Those small things can make a big difference. Shows you're in the know.
Exactly. It's about speaking the audience's language in every sense of the word.
But for those looking for a little boost, the article also gives a shout out to paid ads on TikTok. They even called it a booster shot for organic reach.
It's a great analogy. Things like, in-feed ads and top view, these can really amplify your content, especially if you're trying to reach a very specific audience.
Great advice. Now let's switch gears a bit. We're moving from the high-energy world of TikTok to something a bit more, aesthetically driven. Let's talk Instagram.
Instagram. Still a force to be reckoned with, especially in a visually driven culture like South Africa. And as the article cleverly points out, if your business thrives on strong visuals, Instagram is your best friend.
And speaking of best friends, Instagram's shopping features, they just keep getting more integrated, don't they? It's like they're turning those heart-eyed emojis into, shopping carts.
It's so true. That line between browsing and buying is definitely blurring. And the article makes a great point about South Africa's e-commerce market. It's booming. People are becoming more and more comfortable shopping online, and Instagram, they're in a prime position to, let's say, capitalize on that.
It makes perfect sense when you put it like that. So we've got the captivating visuals, those shoppable posts. But we can't forget about Reels. It's almost like Instagram's answer to TikTok, wouldn't you say?
Without a doubt. And honestly, it's a smart move. Reels feed into that same desire for short, snappy, engaging content.
Yeah.
But of course, with that classic Instagram visual flair.
And the article offered some fantastic tips for those trying to stand out on Reels. They really hammered home the importance of a strong visual identity. They even went so far as to say it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
For South African businesses especially. I mean, when everyone's vying for attention, you got to make it count.
Right. 100%. In a market as vibrant and visually stunning as South Africa, you need a distinctive aesthetic, that's for sure. Think about brands like, what comes to mind? Nando's. Known for their bold, playful colors, that cheeky sense of humor. You see it and you know it's them. It's so quintessentially South African.
Such a good example.
Yes.
Okay, ready for our next deep dive. This one's a little, let's just say, unexpected.
Yeah.
We're venturing into the world of WhatsApp. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't sound very glamorous, does it? But trust me on this one.
This is where it gets really, really interesting, especially if you're serious about the South African market. Because, see, in South Africa, WhatsApp isn't just a messaging app, it's a way of life.
It's huge. The article threw out a crazy stat, something like 96% of South African internet users are on WhatsApp. 96%. That's practically everyone.
Isn't that wild? And that's why it's such a treasure trove for businesses. In South Africa, WhatsApp isn't just about keeping in touch or sending a quick message. It's about communities, sharing news, exchanging information, and even shopping.
Okay, so break it down for us. What makes WhatsApp such a powerful tool for businesses, especially in the South African context?
It's all about direct access, really.
Yeah.
In South Africa, WhatsApp isn't just one of many ways to connect with your customers. It's often the most direct line you have. Think about it. You can send personalized messages, you can offer support in real time, you can even handle payments, all within the app.
It's almost like having a one-on-one conversation with every single customer, even if you have thousands.
Precisely. And because South Africa has such a strong sense of community, features like WhatsApp groups and broadcast lists, they become really powerful marketing tools. Imagine building a community around your brand where you can share updates, get instant feedback, and really cultivate that sense of belonging.
You know, the article highlighted a feature I'd never even considered, WhatsApp catalogs. It's like having a mini online store right there in the app.
Right. It's brilliant, especially for businesses selling physical products. Imagine a customer sends you a message, maybe they have a question about something. You answer their questions, you provide some additional information, and then boom, say, hey, by the way, check out our catalog to see all the options.
So smooth. Okay, time to switch gears again. Let's talk about a platform that's been a cornerstone of the internet since, well, forever. YouTube. Even with the rise of TikTok and all these bite-sized videos, YouTube is still the king of long-form content.
Absolutely. And its staying power is especially relevant in South Africa. The article pointed out that South Africans, particularly younger generations, they turn to YouTube for everything. Entertainment, education, even product research.
Yeah, it's like they see it as a trusted source of information.
Exactly. And that creates a golden opportunity for businesses. They can create content that's not just fun to watch, but also informative, valuable, content that people actually seek out.
And speaking of valuable, we have to mention YouTube's monetization features. The article couldn't stop raving about them. Ad revenue, fan funding, merchandise shelves, it's impressive.
It really is. And for creators in South Africa, those features can be life-changing, especially with the potential to reach a global audience.
It's like they've created a space where you can turn your passion into a real business. And let's not forget about that SEO power. Being owned by Google has its advantages.
Oh, for sure. A well-optimized video can work wonders for your visibility. Not just on YouTube, but across Google search as well.
Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Facebook. Is it still relevant in 2025, especially in a fast-paced market like South Africa?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to be honest, the answer is a little complicated. Yeah, Facebook may not have that same cool factor it once did, especially compared to newer platforms. But it still has a massive user base, especially in South Africa.
The reach is undeniable. The article made that crystal clear. People might not be updating their statuses every 5 minutes, but they're still there. They're engaging in groups, they're consuming content, and here's the kicker, they're spending money.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? Facebook's advertising platform, it's still incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
If you're a business trying to reach a specific demographic, a specific niche, you can't ignore it.
It's like you said earlier, each platform has its strengths. It's about picking the right tool for the job.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This deep dive has been fantastic. We've explored so much, from the rise of short-form video to the power of long-form content. And of course, we can't forget about WhatsApp, a true game changer in the South African market.
Absolutely. If there's one thing to remember, one key takeaway, it's this. Success in the South African social media landscape isn't about being everywhere. It's about being strategic.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up, one last thought for you to ponder. If you were advising a South African brand entering the market in 2025, which platform would you tell them to prioritize? And why? Think about it. And until next time, happy posting, everyone.